They were gracious, and they allowed me to tell some of my stories. But nobody in my neighborhood really knew what it was like. And so I stopped talking about it, except in very limited circles. But people noticed a difference in me, folks that were very close to me. One of the things that I became convinced of while I was in Vienna was that the call to the ministry that I felt at age 15. I tell people I was scared to say yes. I mean, at 15, I'm trying to figure out what it means to be a human being, what it means to be a male human being, what it means to be a black male a human being in America. And now I've got to figure out how to be a minister too. That was a lot at 15. But I was even more afraid to say no because I knew that was my call. And being Baptist, I didn't have to go to school. So I preached my trial sermon. They gave me a license. I'm licensed to preach at age 15. But I was at home. I was at the same church. I was meeting the same people. I never had a conversation with myself or with anybody else about that call. Vienna gave me time to think. I didn't have to go to church every Sunday. I didn't have to be at church all day on Sundays. There was only one Protestant English-speaking church in Vienna. And that was a long way away from the first district where I lived. So I didn't go. But something happened to me that I must share. I lived in Siebenstoßenhütte. Even the name of the street got to haunt me. The term translated means thrust into heaven. All right. Don't make it more than that. From my window across the street was a church, a Catholic church that was built in the 17th century. On this particular Sunday, my roommate, who had stayed a second year as a student assistant, played for an Austrian team. We were getting ready to go somewhere to play a game, but that Sunday I felt an urge to go to church. And so I decided to go to that Catholic church. I had been there long enough to at least think I could understand German. But when I walked into the church, there were a church full of old ladies. They were widows, and they were Hungarian. And the service was in Hungarian. The only thing I understood was Jesus Christ Day. It was Vatican II, after Vatican II. And they called people to come to the altar. And I felt compelled to go. The only thing of color in the church. And I walked to the altar and knelt and put my hands together. And the priest looked at me. And he gave me the wafer. And I took it. I was one with that congregation. That day, I knew that the call was mine. It was not my mother's. It was not my father's. It was not my pastor's. It was my call. And it was a culture that still allowed me to drink beer. That's how ultra high